Hello all, I am Pawan Kumar going to discuss about CAD system. So in this video of 30 to 40 minutes you are going to have a clear picture of what exactly CAD is all about. Nothing but computer aided designing or computer aided drafting. I'm going to give you a clear picture of what are the different applications and advantages, if there are any disadvantages, and what are the different softwares and what are the ways to use them, and how the hardware works, how the software works. All these points I'm going to cover in this 30 to 40 minutes of my lecture, and I hope this will help you out for most of the students. Okay, now coming to my contents or the lectures or the topics which I am going to cover for this particular lecture. 7 points I would like to focus on. If you could understand all the 7, if you could remember basic points of all the 7 different contents, then it becomes so easy to understand what a CAD system is all about. What is the effect or the impact it is creating or going to create in the market, maybe in the automobile industry, aircraft or aerospace industry, or core mechanical industry, or any other multidisciplinary industries. Okay, coming to the contents, the first point is what is creation? Nothing but a design, that we are going to discuss. And what is computer aided design? What exactly designing is all about with the help of computers? What exactly we are trying to do? Okay, CAD applications relating to manual drafting. Okay, beyond manual drafting, what else we can do? Other than manual drafting, what else we can do in CAD system? What are the different applications? How we have overcome the manual drafting by using CAD system? And coming to advantages of CAD, we are going to talk about, again we are going to compare the manual things with the latest technology of CAD system, how a CAD system is used when designing a product. Okay, in the production also CAD will help you in many ways to write a program or to transfer the data to communicate with the CAM system, production unit, nothing but that also we are going to focus on. And CAD system hardware and software. To fulfill all the contents whatever I am discussing, like first 5 points, we need to have a proper hardware and software, without which it is not at all possible to perform any of the tasks. Other than that, finally main aspects of this particular CAD system and the basic requirements. Okay, so if you focus for 30 to 40 minutes of my lecture, if you could listen properly in and around, I'm going to share you with few sketches which will give you a clear picture of what exactly CAD system is all about. That will help you out to make you understand. Alright, the next slide, first content that I'm going to clear here. What is actually design? It is an art of a human force for dreaming, preparing and creating goods that represents a citizens. Okay, means it should be helpful to the society. It should be helpful to the society. Whatever the design you are creating, it should be helpful to the person next to you. Unless there is some applicability, it is a wasteful job to produce any component, because there will be a wastage of money, manpower, time and human involvement also. There are a lot more disadvantages if you prepare a component irrespective of its application. Okay, next point I would like to focus is design is a complete prototype with fabrication and analysis. Now CAD system will help you in many ways. For example, if you got a thought of creating a component which will cost some huge amount, then what we try to do, we actually focus on its prototype, how the component is going to be after the fabrication. Okay, so before fabrication only we can create a prototype, we can see the aesthetic effect of that particular component, followed by all the dimensions, shapes, sizes can be, we can feel them, all the parameters can be feel by the person who actually designing it. So in the process of doing, if we find any difficulty or if we find anything wrong in the design, while analysis he can easily understand, so that we can rectify at the design level only. That is the main advantage of using a prototype, and even we can show it to the client saying that the component is going to be something like this once it got manufactured after 1 year or 2 years. Okay, if it is a very big project. Then whenever we talk about a design, there are few steps need to be followed, which are basic steps without which we can't go further, and these steps will go in a sequential order. You can't take it randomly. Okay, so it should go in a sequential order. The first step is recognition of need. Okay, means once you have a thought in your mind, that has to be implemented properly. So everyone recognizes the need as a modern concept should be fulfilled. Okay, that recognition. So what is the requirement of that particular object or component, that is more and more important rather than you create it initially. Okay, so that has to be utilized for a specific reason, specific application, then only that should be implemented properly. Then comes problem definition. Once you got a thought and you know the application, how and where it is going to be used, you should have a problem definition, nothing but specification of the item or the component. Specification of that particular product should be there, like what are all the dimensions, tolerances, shapes, sizes. That is also more and more important. That has to be defined first. Once that is done, we need to synthesize the model. Okay, synthesizing nothing but the creation, conceptualization comes into picture, where 2D sketches has to be developed. Now these 2D sketches will help you to actually reach your destiny in a more accurate way. Means 2D sketches has to be prepared by set of members, where a simple one department will work. In general, I'll give you a simple example. For example, an organization is having a small unit which we call it as a brainstorming unit. That unit will work on conceptualization or conceptual drawings. Group of members, maybe 5 or 10, work on the same concept. Means if the organization has a project, then initially they need to work on basic design, nothing but 2D drawings followed by the calculations. To do so, they need to have a clear picture of how the design is going to be and what are the dimensions. Will it fulfill the required application or required efficiency or whatever required for that particular project. That has to be done at the basic level. The basic level, nothing but the conceptualization of that particular drawing. Okay, that is done by maybe a group of members. Then out of their work on that particular 2D sketch, the superior will try to collect the best out of those 10 sketches or 10 drawings. They'll come up with a new output of 2D sketch. Once the 2D sketch is finalized, they go with 3D models. Okay, by using any of the softwares. Individual model 3D has to be developed and that has to be analyzed. Okay, the next level is analysis and optimization. Okay, coming to analysis, the concept is analyzed and redesigned. For example, here under this process, analysis is very much important criteria. Before going for manufacturing, what actually we need to do is we need to analyze the model, whether the model created will reach its efficiency or will reach its output or not. That has to be satisfied before going on to actual manufacturing. Then the same thing has to be optimized there itself. Okay, if there is anything do and don'ts has to be taken, that has to be taken at the analysis level only, where you can play with the loading conditions, you can play with the boundary conditions. Okay, and you can easily estimate what nearby value that it can reach up to that level, and it is feasible to so and so environmental conditions. That has to be decided at the analysis level. Once the analysis level is finalized or cleared, then comes the evaluation. Whatever the results we got need to be evaluated with respect to the original specifications or the hand calculations, whatever has been performed. Okay, that is the reason I have given here as compare design against original specifications. That is more and more important. Okay, if you got a value which is nearby the original value, then we can go further with the next documentation followed by the manufacturing. If something goes wrong, there is a lot more gap between the calculations original and the results that we got through analysis, then problem starts. Though when there is a problem, when there is a difference, lot more difference between the original specification and the specification which we have considered, then we need to again redesign, means we need to go to the first step back again. Okay, for conceptualization again we have to come back to this particular evaluation. So it is a continuous process, whatever the project you take over, whether it is a mechanical related or any other design related, many other, maybe electronic related, some other IT related, the steps will remain same. Maybe as I am talking about mechanical related concept, I'm talking about mechanical components, okay, but the steps almost more or less remains the same. Then comes presentation, nothing but whatever we have designed, whatever the conceptualization you made or analysis you have found out or evaluation did, has to be documented properly day wise. Okay, that documentation has to be produced to the next level of process, CAD process. That is very much important, without which without the documentation further process is impossible, and also future assistance of that particular project becomes very much tough task. So documentation is very much important, that too authenticated documentation with proper finalization by the superiors. Okay, nothing but documentation of complete drawings, 2D 3D drawings, isometric views, documentations of whatever the steps followed, procedures followed, has to be properly documented. Then comes stages in design process. Okay, coming to stages in design process, as I said just now, recognition of a need, recognition of the need is very much what actually recognition of need is all about. Means some problem exists, for what you call some corrective action should be taken. Maybe the design is already existing with the company, with the organization. I'll just show you with a simple sketch here. Okay, the design, maybe I have a simple design which is already existing with me. Okay, this design has to be redesigned. Okay, that also comes under recognition of the need. Okay, means design is already existing, that has to be, changes need to be done, updated, this need to be updated. Okay, that is also important. This also comes under recognition of the need. If I try to change the dimension of some length or some distance, then maybe there is some improvement in the design or efficiency. If that is the concept, then yes, updating it or redesigning it is also comes under recognition of the need only. Number two, in actual practice, what we try to do is, whenever there is a recognition of the need, we'll try to define in a machine component or new product need to be designed, okay, by a salesperson or the organization. Okay, complete new product. This also comes under what you call recognition of the need only. Okay, so ultimately one has to finalize what is actually required for so and so X component. Okay, so that can be done by a person who is very much superior and experienced in that particular area. Okay, these two comes into picture. Don't think that, most of them think whenever I'll say recognition of the need, they'll think about a new product. Okay, that is fine, but other than that, updating the existing product or the project to come up with new efficiency or different kind of designs which will help the society is also a part of it. Okay, other than this, the other one is next to this one is problem definition. Okay, problem definition is number 2. Just now what we have studied, what I have explained you, nothing but physical and functional characteristics, cost and quality. Whenever I talk about problem definition, one thing comes into picture is physical and functional characteristics are very much important to be discussed. Okay, I'll just let me erase these and redraw to make you understand. Whenever we'll talk about definition of a problem, whenever I'll say definition, few things comes into picture. What are those things means? Mainly the physical and functional characteristics. Physical, nothing but the aesthetic way of designing, or how does it look. Physical and functional, how it is going to function, what on, based on what principle. Okay, these two are very much important. Okay, unless you define these two, you can't go further. Okay, when you plan for physical and functional, cost comes into picture. Okay, that is also more and more important. For example, if you are going with a for example, you are working on a steam turbine where you want a very high efficiency, that can be captured. But the thing is, what is the cost that need to be invested? What is the cost to design the complete layout, design complete components? Okay, so if you feel that I can reach an efficiency of 40% with high cost, then it is a wasteful job, because ultimately we need to catch hold of profits also. That also should be our criteria. Okay, with less cost, we need to have more profits. That should be the basic concept of any business person. Okay, this should be the idea. Okay, then after definition comes a synthesis. Now whether it is a synthesis or analysis and optimization, Now whenever we talk about synthesis and analysis and optimization, few things need to be kept in mind. It talks about conceptualization by a design, concept drawing, what you call conceptualization by design, subjected to analysis, improved through the analysis, products and redesigning. Okay, it is not just a new design, it could be a redesign of a component also. That is what I said for my first point. Both comes into picture. Okay, finally before documentation comes evaluation. As I said, it will talk about the comparison. Okay, measuring the design against specifications. You have standard specifications, so whatever the results you got need to be compared with the standard specifications. I'll say compare, so that you will understand and remember. Okay, we need to compare, and if the results are nearby, no need to be very exact with that particular standard specification. If the values are nearby the value also, that can be acceptable. Okay, this is what actually done. And finally that has to be documented. Whatever the works performed throughout the project has to be documented. Documentation of design by means of drawings, and what are the different materials used for so and so X project. Materials, nothing but material specification, and maybe assembly lists has to be made. Likewise many other, etc. I'll just name it as etc. has to be documented properly. Then only that document will be used for further assistance. Okay, this is what I try to explain you with a simple sketch. Okay, next, what is the main difference between a drawing and a drafting? Okay, drawing is a rough sketch which gives some message or production details like shape of component, size of component. And coming to drafting is a language of an engineer with exact scaling, dimension, measurements, accuracy, and with standard like ISO standard, ISEE, etc. Okay, means drawings nothing but the rough sketches what we try to draw for the initial stage to make the other engineer or the person next to you to understand. And drafting is something once the drawings are finalized, once the dimensions are finalized, we'll come up with exact sketches which are actually required for manufacturing. That sheet need to be sent for the shop floor for manufacturing, sent to the shop floor for manufacturing. Just by viewing that drawing, he'll manufacture the component. That is a basic difference between these two. Try to understand. And the second content out of whatever the 7 contents I have produced from my first slide, first content is all about designing. What are the different steps? These are the different steps which we have already discussed about recognition, definition, synthesis, analysis, evaluation and presentation. If you remember all these steps, then it becomes so easy to write the descriptive part. Okay, second one is computer aided designing. It is not just designing with the help of a computer. So what makes a computer more and more interesting in the designing and production units also? How does it help? How it will help in designing and reducing the time span, reducing the what you call errors in that particular design. Similarly, if you talk about CAM system, how it control the inventory, how it control the process, many other things comes into picture. Okay, now CAD can call, if in brief, computer designing or computer drafting, both are same. That can be called in both the ways. Okay, so we can give a small definition to it. Small definition. It is, in general, anybody can give their own means of definition if you could understand the CAD system properly. Okay, one of the main applications of computer technology is computer aided designing side by side with the computer aided manufacturing. Okay, CAD stands for computer aided design and drafting. CAD is integration of computer science techniques for engineering design. Try to understand, it is going to integrate things together. Means CAD, in simple, if you ask me what is the definition of CAD, means in simple I'll say it is a combination of computer graphics, hardware and software. Okay, combination of these three is nothing but integration of CAD. Okay, if you can understand that way also, that is also a good idea. Okay, the term CAD defines any design activity. I'm trying to define it here. The term CAD defines any design activity that involves an electronic computing machine in the process of design development, analysis and modification and optimization. Okay, analysis or modification and optimize means through this CAD system, with less human involvement, with a single person, we can perform all these tasks. We can design, we can develop it through design, analysis or modifications can be done, editing can be done, redesigning can be done, and optimization is a very big thing that can be done by using CAD system, which is not possible in a conventional way, because if you want to draw too many sketches, it will take long time and you can't design so effectively and you can't read your drawing so effectively in time. You need to have a lot of patience, lot of time. So that can be reduced through CAD system. So after the computer's involvement in the designing, there is lot more improvement in the production, lot more improvement in the design accuracy. Role of mechanical engineer in CAD system. Being a mechanical engineer, I need to talk about this sentence, very much important. Okay, mechanical engineers do drafting and design and prototype testing operation in CAD system. What actually mechanical engineer will do? He do design, he do drafting. Once it got designed, it need to be drafted. Drafting nothing but 2D sketches of whatever the 3D model you have developed with all the exact specifications or dimensions. Then before manufacturing, we can take out the prototype for testing also. Okay, with scale down size, we can take out the prototype and we can test it. That can be done before manufacturing only, and we can actually get the result before manufacturing only, like the component is feasible to the conditions or environment or not. That we can know before. That is the main advantage. Okay, used to create graphic representation of physical objects. Okay, now this will help you, CAD system will help you to create graphic representation of a physical object. Means what are the different colors we can put on, or what are the different materials we can use. We can do trial and error kind of thing. We can try with different materials, different colors, different sizes and shapes within a very less span of time. Okay, so if you want to change the color of any automobile, maybe any car, that can be done in the designing only, and you can see the effect how it is going to be after manufacturing. Will that color or that appearance catch the mind of the client or not, that you can read it before you actually manufacture it. That is the main advantage of CAD system. This is the one simple example I'm trying to give you. Then comes main functions of CAD. What are the main functions? Means create graphic representation, nothing but 2D 3D models can be designed and drafted, okay, graphically. That effect is very much important, and that gives you clear picture of how the component is going to be in the coming future. 3D modeling, nothing but individual components and assembly modeling. Individual components, for example, after assembly we can't visualize all the small components which are actually inside as a sub-assembly in the main assembly. So in such scenario, 3D models of each individual has to be developed. Then those 3D models need to be assembled together to make, to look like a complete system. Okay, then analyzing the model, whatever the model created, maybe it will go through number of loading conditions, tensile kind of loading, compression loading, shear, or many other, and that can also be get rid of. And that is maybe that component, we can say that it can go up to certain loading conditions. Beyond that loading it may fail. That conclusion also we can make through this particular CAD system. Remember one more point, CAD system nothing but it is not just 2D and 3D drawings or sketches. Okay, 2D drafting, 3D models, it also talk about analysis. CAD system also talk about analysis. It also talk about meshing the model, okay, discretization of the model, nothing but. Then comes third one, after this particular CAD system, third content which I would like to present in front of you is what are the different applications of CAD system. This is used in almost every what you call area, where the first one I would like to focus on is automotive industry, next aircraft, aerospace industry, welding, cutting industry, manufacturing of dies and tool making industry, textile industry, textile also, jigs and fixtures. Likewise, this can be used in multidisciplinary environments, multidisciplinary areas. This particular CAD system is used so effectively, with which there is lot of improvement in the designing, and the error level has been taken completely down, and there is lot more production improvement, lot more improvement in the time span also. Okay, then comes advantages of CAD over manual drafting. I have presented a few points here. As most of you, if you are went through any of the textbooks, you just could remember this. Easy modification, less time taking, means a drawing can be created. If you find any difficulty at any level of the design, that can be edited so easily, which is not possible with the conventional way of drawing, because drawing it on a sheet of paper, you need to erase it, you need to redraw it. That gives some kind of it is time taking, as well as it looks so clumsy. So less time taking. Storage and retrieval, you can save your models, you can save your designs in the database. When and where required, that can be retrieved, and you have a realistic kind of effect and quick access to that particular model by the name, by the code. That is also possible, which is not possible in the conventional way of designing. More accuracy, more precision, better communication between users, means you can communicate your sketches with the other person. No need to give the descriptive information of that particular sketch. Just by looking at the sketch, he'll understand. Another engineer will easily understand, and it will communicate the right information to the next engineer or next person to you, or the client who is staying abroad also. He'll definitely understand what you would like to communicate. That is the importance of any drawing. Okay, higher performance, easy to draw, increase efficiency of designer. These are all the different advantages I would like to focus on. Then comes CAD in product design. Just now I have given one flow chart which is a design process, completely talk about a design process. Now CAD in product design, when you want to that talks about only designing. Whenever you want to talk about product design, so other than the 6 points which I have discussed earlier, you come across CAD system also, where geometrical modeling, engineering analysis, design and retrieval, review and evaluation, automated drafting comes into picture. So these points, in addition to these points, when there is a CAD in the product design, this is the improvement. Means by using a software, geometrical modeling can be done, nothing but exact dimensional model can be done, engineering analysis is possible, stress strain can be calculated, if there are any thermal related issues that can be calculated, and design review and evaluation means nothing but comparison can be done. Automated drafting means whatever the design you have created in the CAD system, that can be drafted automatically by using another module called drafting. Okay, whereas in the previous case, what we need to do, everything has to be done manually. Okay, everything has to be done manually, whereas in this case, through computer, through softwares, we have many softwares like CATIA, ProE, the other name is Creo, SolidWorks, and maybe Unigraphics. Likewise, we have many other software. These software will help you to draw 2D sketches, and that can be transformed to 3D model. That material application can be done, and that can be analyzed through proper meshing, and we can evaluate. Everything can be done through software only, which very less involvement of the human. That is what I try to present in this particular flowchart. In addition to these 6 steps, CAD in product design, with the help of CAD, these are the 4 steps which will help you to increase the precision of the component, to increase the to reduce the time and to increase the productivity. Everything is done so effectively. That is what I try to focus on. Then comes CAD hardware. Okay, as I said, we have few softwares. To run those softwares, we need to have a proper hardware, without which it is a wasteful task. Okay, now here one or more design workstations. I'll tell you what is a design workstation. Nothing but a graphic terminal and input device like light pen, joystick, keyboard, trackball. Digital computer, nothing but a CPU, central processing unit, is the utmost thing need to be taken care of with proper graphic card and RAM. Output devices, hard copy devices, scanners, storage devices, CDs, DVDs, floppies, etc. Now to better understand, what I try to do is, I'll just try to draw a simple sketch here. Now whenever we talk about hardware structure, we need to remember a simple thing. Let me draw a simple sketch which will help you out for understanding. Few students will understand the descriptive part, and few will remember the drawings forever. So this will help for them. So I'm trying to present it for all the students who actually need it. Okay, let me name it as CPU, central processing unit, which will do the arithmetic and logic operation, mathematical calculations. Okay, as you all know, which is a primary storage also, which we call it as primary storage, nothing but the main storage. Okay, other than that, this will be in connection with the output devices. This is in connection with the output devices. Okay, and also in connection with the secondary storage. I call this as secondary storage. Okay, nothing but auxiliary storage. The other name is auxiliary storage. The other name is I just try to take some other color. The other name of secondary storage is auxiliary storage unit. Okay, so the information, whatever the information created or developed, need to be saved. So up to some extent that can be saved in CPU in the name of main storage or primary storage. As the main storage or primary storage which we are talking about is more and more expensive, if you want to have more space, that costs more. So that is the reason we'll try to set up a secondary storage, which we call it as auxiliary storage also, which will reduce the cost of complete system. Okay, so there is a to and fro movement of information, followed by the CPU is actually connected to a simple graphical terminal, nothing but your screen or a monitor. Let us imagine that this is a graphic terminal followed by an input device. Okay, followed by an input device. This, let me call it as graphic terminal, and this as input device. Okay, nothing but whenever we talk about an input device, let me give clarity here also. Whenever we talk about an input device, keyboard is a input device, mouse is an input device, and maybe a joystick or trackball, thumb wheel, tablet, or else I'll name it as tab, T-A-B. Okay, all this comes into picture. As of now, this is not actually our discussion. We are talking about CAD system, so I'm trying to give you simple points related. Altogether, this particular graphic terminal and input device, we call it as workstation. W-O-R-K, workstation. First station I'll name it as ST. Okay, workstation. Altogether we call it as workstation. So whatever input we give it to the graphic terminal, that is going to be saved, and there will be a flow of information from CPU to graphic terminal also. Okay, this is what it goes. And other than input devices, coming to output devices, there are two kind of broadly classified into two types. One is plotter, and one more is printer. Okay, plotter and printer. Okay, plotters, coming to plotters, again it is broadly classified into two types, number 1 and 2. Number 1 is flatbed type, number 2 is drum type plotter. Coming to printer, there are many types, broadly classified into 3: dot matrix printer, laser printer, and maybe inkjet printer. Okay, these all comes into picture. All together, the complete sketch is called as hardware structure. Okay, this particular hardware structure layout of a this particular CAD system. Unless you have this, you can't use any softwares. This is what I would like to focus on, and that is what I have presented here. Okay, same thing presented here. CPU, central processing unit, followed by hard copy devices, scanners. Okay, all this comes into picture. CPU, coming to CPU, operates as a central brain of CAD system, executes all the mathematical computations need to maybe accomplish graphics or other functions. Okay, which will manage, this particular CPU will manage the complete what you call workstation also, complete workstation, nothing but graphic terminal and input devices. That is the main activity that it is going to perform. Next comes CAD software. Okay, maybe 2D sketches, drafting is very much possible in AutoCAD, which got developed long back in 1960s. AutoCAD, Autodesk inventor. Maybe these things now got upgraded where we can perform many tasks in this also. Other than this, there are 3D modeling software existing, which are CATIA, SolidWorks, Unigraphics, Creo. Many of the softwares are available. It all depends on the user friendliness of the maybe the person using it or the organization using it. They will try to go with. Okay, then comes analysis and optimization simulation. We have many softwares. The basic softwares are ANSYS with different versions available, LS-DYNA with different versions available. By using this LS-DYNA, we can do dynamic analysis. Dynamic analysis looks far better in LS-DYNA compared to ANSYS. In ANSYS, we can do all structural analysis, thermal analysis, maybe fluent analysis. Many other analysis can be performed, but the dynamic behavior can be seen properly in LS-DYNA. Likewise, we have many other softwares. Like there is a separate software for meshing, for discretization of the model also. The name of the software is HyperMesh. There is one more software called ANSA, that is also a very good tool. We need to, being a mechanical student or a faculty, need to be very much familiar with all the softwares, at least the basics of each and every software. If you could understand one software properly, one software, maybe a CATIA, SolidWorks or Creo, any one software, modeling software properly, other software becomes so simple, no need for assistance from other candidate or other person. You can learn by yourself. Okay, you can fulfill the requirement of a student so easily. That will help you out, and that will give you a very good name, and the student will definitely appreciate your work. And you can correlate that software knowledge with the theoretical part of CAD/CAM also. That will help you lot better way to present your topic well and good in the classroom. Okay, other than this, coming to aspects of CAD, just now whatever I have discussed with you, in general I am trying to give you an overview of this particular complete CAD system. This is what I have discussed just now with you all. Modeling is the first criteria, okay, first aspect I would say, and comes display and visualization. Means if you know modeling, that is well and good, but if you don't have proper display system, then it is wasteful job. So display systems should be proper, with proper graphic card and proper displaying. Unless you have a proper displaying system, it will not work. For displaying in CAD system, you have a separate topic. There are many display devices like calligraphic type, raster refresh graphic display devices. If you could focus on those display devices, then you will understand definitely how a display system will work behind the screen. That is more and more important. Simply by drawing a sketch, you can see it on the screen, but what is happening behind can also be known through these kind of display devices. Then comes applications, is one more aspect where you could apply. Is you can apply in a core mechanical company, automobile, aerospace company. Other than this, multidisciplinary organizations are also using this particular CAD system to improve their kind of design and to reduce the error effects in their design and to improve the production also. Coming to modeling, this modeling, definition of object is more important. This 4 points I would like to, 3 points I would like to focus on: modeling, display and application. And coming to modeling, definition of object, relation between objects is more important. This is very much important point. Properties, orientations in suitable coordinate system, and modification of existing definition. Okay, editing should be done at any level of time. That flexibility should be there with the modeling, without which using that software is a wasteful competition. Because if you can't edit something, maybe I'm working on a component which will take 10 different steps, and after my 8th step or 9th step, I realized that the step which I have performed in second went wrong. You have to go immediately to that step and you have to rectify it. That should be that flexibility should be there in any of the softwares, and that is there in existing with all the CAD system nowadays. That is very much important to understand. Okay, then comes display and visualization. Display of model objects, mapping objects onto screen coordinates. Means we have two different coordinate systems. One is world coordinate system, which will vary from -infinity to +infinity. So whatever you draw may go anywhere in the world coordinate system. That has to be properly portrayed to screen coordinate system. That is more and more important, because we actually work on screen coordinate system. We could see the object properly when you fit it to the screen. Then comes surface displaying and shading. You have different modes of visualization in case of any of the softwares you consider. One of the scenario is where you can see the surface display, you can see the shading display also. Then comes projections. Whenever you talk about projections, whether you are dealing with first angle or third angle kind of projection, means the views has to be projected properly, because that has to be documented and send it for the shop floor for manufacturing. Means front view, top view, auxiliary view, isometric views, side views has to be presented properly. That should be there. Hidden line removal with multiple surfaces and displays. For example, if you are actually working on a 3D model, unless you remove the hidden line or hidden surface, then it is tough to predict how the object actually look like. I'll show you in the form of a simple sketch. Then comes requirements of modeling. Solids are modeled by storing information of constant surfaces. This will help in displaying surfaces, maybe 3D, computing solid properties, modeling by storing information on boundary curves or by storing their geometric definition. This is what I would like to present in front of you. If you are very good with all the 7 different contents which I have presented you, then CAD becomes so simple, you can write it by your own. Okay, let me give you a simple clarification of this particular modeling. Definition is fine. Definition of an object is okay for you, maybe people will understand. And what is this particular relation, that is more important. Let me tell you about the relation also. I'll take a new slide for you. Relation means, for example, let me talk about a simple turbine. Turbine will have a simple arrangement of this kind. Try to understand my sketches because I'm drawing it with the help of a mouse on a 3D paint, so maybe the lines may be crossed, but still try to understand. Concept is more important rather than these sketches. There is a shaft over which one bearing got mounted to the left, one to the right. Okay, how you represent a bearing? We represent a bearing with a simple cross line, as you all know from your basic drawing, machine drawing. This is the representation of a bearing, okay, over which this is mounted. Other than this, let me draw a simple turbine with a single stage. Whenever I'll say single stage, there will be a single disc. Over this single disc, there will be a blade arrangement throughout the circumference. So the cross section is visible something like this. I am trying to draw a simple cross section of a turbine with a single disc or a single stage with the blading arrangement and a bearings. Okay, now this will again have a certain gap with the casing, so I am trying to show that gap also with the casing. I am trying to draw a simple sketch. Okay, maybe the gap is minute, but still I'm trying to make it big just for you guys to understand actually. Okay, let us imagine this. And outer body of the casing, this is the outer portion of casing. This is how it look like. Fine, this is how it happens. Okay, and but the thing is, as we are talking about the relation, there should be proper relation with respect to origin. For example, if I consider this point as my origin, starting point of the shaft as the origin, which is 0, 0, then each and every object should be in relation with that particular origin. For example, from the origin, what should be the distance of the bearing number 1? That should be related. Similarly, from the origin, what should be the distance of disc? What should be a disc? For example, from the origin, what should be the distance of bearing number 2? This is bearing 2 distance, this is bearing 1 distance, this is disc 1 distance. Okay, that relation has to be maintained. From the origin, what should be the distances, how much distance it need to maintain, that calculations has to be done before we actually design it. Okay, at the conceptual level we'll try to calculate, then accordingly we'll try to take all the dimensions, and also what should be the thickness, okay, in between the shaft and the casing. Similarly, whatever the components you'll get in the process of designing, you may go through 20 different parts, 30 different parts, maybe 100 different parts. So each and every part has to be related with the other. That is more and more important, because unless all work with a coordination, the system will not work. That is the reason we need to give proper relation with respect to the other object. This bearing should have some relation with the disc should have some relation with the bearing number 2, and this bearing should have some relation with bearing number 1. Relation in sense, relation should be there in terms of its specifications or dimensions. That is more and more important. As we are talking about these dimensions, this can be given, I try to focus on one more point here. This can be given by two ways, dimensions. So one we can follow, means unless you have these kind of relations, you can't, for example, whenever you write a CNC program, dimensioning is more important and relations are more important. So we talk about absolute way of dimensioning and incremental way of dimensioning, INC. Okay, absolute method of dimensioning is whatever dimension you give, whatever dimension or what the tool travel from 0 0. For example, imagine that this is a tool, this need to travel from here to the disc. So in the process of traveling, what is the distance it is maintaining with respect to 0 0? What is the distance of x? What is the distance of y? Okay, so x and y distance need to be calculated with respect to origin. Whatever we calculate with respect to origin. That is nothing but the absolute way of calculating it. Okay, if we calculate with respect to the next point or the previous point, with respect to the previous point, that is called as incremental way. For example, if I calculate x and y at this point, for example, let me take this corner here. If I want to calculate x and y coordinates in the form of incremental, then nothing to do with the origin. We need to calculate with respect to this corner. That is more important. Let me call it as corner number 1. Let me call this as corner number 2. So I can calculate corner number 2 coordinates with respect to corner number 1. That is incremental. If I calculate corner number 2 coordinates with respect to 0 0, then it is nothing but absolute way of calculating it. Okay, this all comes into picture. So this is what relation is all about. And okay, modeling under properties, again orientations, and nothing but whenever you assembling the components in its working position is more and more important. And coming to displaying of the model, mapping the object in scene coordinates, surface displaying. Okay, all this comes into picture, and we need to fix with one kind of projections, whether you are following first or third angle, because that need to be presented properly and sent to the shop floor for manufacturing. That is more important. And the object can be visualized in many ways, maybe a wireframe type, surface type, or a solid type. That is also important. Now means I'll take one more slide and let me tell you. For example, if I have maybe I'm having a simple 3D box or a cube. Okay, hidden surface removals or hidden line removals. If this is a cube, if I'll show this cube with these faces also, maybe this is 1, this is 2. Okay, if with all the edges, then it becomes tough task for me to understand which is the in front edge and which is the behind edge. That is more tough. That is the reason what we try to do is we'll try to draw a model in different orientations, different methods. One is you can show it with the component like this and with hidden lines. This hidden line, nothing but this will give you information that there are behind edges available. Okay, this we can call it as a wireframe model. Wireframe model. Okay, this is also called as wireframe model, but it is with visible edges. Okay, this is a wireframe model with invisible edges. That is the meaning. Okay, if I draw a component simply with a front face and something like this, this is called a surface model. Okay, similarly, if you go to any of the software, you come across surface model, 3D model with edges, okay, shadings, all this information you can come across. This is what I would like to present. These are the different requirements. This is all for this lecture. Okay, if you have any queries, any doubts related to CAD system, you can comment in the box given below. You can download this video, or simple PPT will also be available in the site. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and share these videos. Thank you.